Hello and welcome. Today's video is going to be a really long video. It's another build video. I ended up getting this quad here off eBay. It came with one broken ESC, so I had to wait 3 weeks to get the replacement. In the video I show you how I tried to replace it with an alternative 20 amp or something like that. Don't do that because the quad kept on tipping. When the battery was almost dead, it would just always tip basically. So I waited 3 weeks for that ESC there, and then 5 minutes into my flight at the end I crashed it and blew the same ESC again. So that really sucks, but I was kind of being extremely hard on it and controlling it like a jerk, so to say, or whatever. So I shouldn't have been hot dogging it so much. Where this guy here, I broke it. The arm didn't crack like I thought it was, but I did burn out an ESC. So it's more for obviously FPVing, so keep that in mind when you're getting this guy. If the arms break, it can be a pain in the butt to replace, so keep that also in mind too for the field. Banggood has this guy here, and it seems like it's less layers. It looks pretty plain, but to a point where it might actually be easier replacing parts out on the field, unlike the one I got. But that's up to you. Actually, a lot of people don't like the look of this one. I actually don't mind it. It looks pretty neat up in the air, and like I said, it's extremely fast. The video at the end of all of it, that's basically all I have because I crashed it. So I'm not gonna throw on another ESC yet and do another video. So the videos as well is pretty raw, and the onboard camera I put on it is pretty horrible as well, but it does show the speed of the quad at least. And I should stop talking because this video is getting too long. So again, if you're not going to get this quad, or if you're thinking about getting this quad, you might want to watch the video. Besides that, if you get stuck on it, just use my videos as a reference as usual. If you have any if you run into trouble with it, just hit me up on the comments like usual. I'm usually willing to help out. And that's it, guys.
Alright, what came in the package? So I ordered some of these extra these blades and a bunch of these guys here. I'm just going to take all this stuff out of here. Alright, so here's the frame. The blades that actually come with the kit, I believe. I think there's supposed to be 2 green and 2 blacks. Four ESCs. 4 motors. All the screws and connectors. Board. Lining gear. Dodo. Zip ties. 2 lights. CC3D board, APM, and it actually came with instructions, a bunch of these plastic guys, and I guess this would be the shell after. Alright, so this kit does come with the instructions. But just in case it doesn't, I'll scan this and post it, and I'll just show you the long process of actually building it all together to see how long it actually takes, to see if you're actually up for it. Alright, so we're going to start this now. I'm going to start from the bottom up, and I'll just get the arms on this now. So find the piece like this and orient it this way, the 2 holes there, and put the legs on. Alright, so here you're going to need the guys that look like this. just use these for now. We'll start on one corner. That's the wrong size. Alright, so place those guys there. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit here because it is kind of a confusing thing to go. And then you'll have another package with really long ones. So just keep them separated, I guess. And what you're after are all the 8s. If I can find them. Alright. So start in the corner. Where are they all? Okay, I guess it's in this package here. So you have two different sizes here. I don't know why they're all mixed up like that, but you'll want the longer ones. And we may as well do these ones too. So on this, we left the center one on each of them. So that's what these really long ones are for. So just place that right through the center here. That. And then repeat it. Alright, so place the board this way like that. And then the next thing, I guess we'll just get this over with too. It comes with some aluminum pieces. This guy goes right there, like that. And I believe that would be these guys here. So these would be the 5 ones. The other aluminum guy here goes right there like that. And then in the other package you had 2 really small ones. And that's for this. have the right screwdriver for these little ones. It's basically the only two screws in the whole package that are different from everything else. For some reason it seems like this one's adjustable. I'm not going to put those too tight. Okay. Alright. The next thing I'm going to want to add is the board. This guy here. So I'm going to orient it, I guess. I'm not too sure. I guess I'm going to go this way with it. Well, actually, I'll have the two switches on the top. No. Alright, so I'm going to orient it this way. I'm just going to have the switches on the bottom. And that's what these plastic screws are for. Or you can just figure another way of putting it on. So it would be this guy. I think I'm actually going to go this way with it. Put this guy on the bottoms. Had the screws on the bottom before, but this way might be a bit better. As long as it still screws in after. Alright, so here I put the nut on the bottom. Well, it's not really a nut, it's a spacer. But you can do it other ways as well. You can put this at the top instead and just do it the other way I'm doing it. But anyways. So I'm going to have the LED board facing that way. And yeah, so I'll just continue on. To make it look cleaner, you might want to put the screws on the bottom instead, but it doesn't really matter. Alright. That panel's going to go that way. So like I said, instead of doing it this way, you can have these nuts on the bottom be up here instead. This way you won't have these weird things on the bottom. You'll just have the screws pointing up. It'd probably look better that way. That's fine, so I'll just put these four away. Alright, I suggest putting the screws back in their packages for now until you need them, because I have no idea if there's extras. Usually using a pill bottle cap or something is pretty good. you don't lose them. Alright, so now I'm going to get on to soldering. It came with these 2 red wires here. This kit came with one of these, with the XT60 connector. Use this one if you have that. But my batteries are meant for this guy here. Strip a bit of wire back. Alright, so now I'm just going to prep all these pads. I'll leave the LED ones alone just to see if the wire actually fits through them. I don't think it will, but I'll try it. Right, so I may as well just get the LEDs on right away as well. Alright, I'm going to solder this guy on. Alright, so on this board there's 2 pads called LED. Hopefully the LEDs that came with it are actually 12 volts. And I'm not really sure where I'm going to put the lights, but I may as well just solder them on now. Do I really have to solder the wires there? Wow, crazy. Alright, these LEDs come with 2 really small pads. Hopefully that's the right place to solder them on. It's the only part that's actually solderable. So we'll try there. If it blows up, I guess I was wrong. I'm not sure where I'm going to be mounting them, so I'm just going to solder them in for now, just any which way. I'm not going to use those holes. Before I continue on, I'll just correct myself now. This little piece here I told you guys to add, you actually have to put this connector inside of it, depending if you have that one. So these two screws here, I don't have the right screwdriver for it, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. I also tried to increase my exposure on my camera to see if I can get it not so dark looking, so hopefully that works. Again, these are the little teeny ones here. Should only have 3 of them. Not sure what the third one's for. It's good enough for now. Maybe not. Thought the third one might be for that hole there, so you can kind of screw it down and tighten it in, but it's not threaded, at least not on this one. Right, so I'm going to jump onto the motors now. So the ones with the black caps go if the quadcopter is facing forward like this. The black would be on that side, and the way you can tell is it unloosens by going clockwise, and it tightens by going counterclockwise. Right. So I'll just do one with you. We're going to do one ESC at a time though. I'll show you why in a second. Right, so the next motor would be the ones with the silver cap, and he goes on this side. So I'm just going to fast forward it now. All the motors are on. So that's the way it should look, like that, the black, silver, across from each other like that. So I'm going to keep it this way like that. So now I'm going to jump onto the ESCs. I'm going to do one at a time and I'll explain in a second. Alright, so grab one of your ESCs out of the package. They all come with a beck, at least in this package. So for now, leave the red wire on. And on this board here, it's marked positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. I'll just simply add on. Use a little bit more flux here. Right, so you want to skin all your wires back on all your ESCs. So I'll just do this one and I'll do the other ones quickly. Right, so for the first one, it's a gambling game because these aren't marked A, B, C or nothing. I guess you could open this up and figure out where the wires go. It would simplify it probably. But, and same with these, are not marked. But at least these are in order, but it still doesn't really help you. So what I suggest is just twisting these wires on any which way. Don't solder them yet. These ones didn't come with connectors, so that's why it's kind of a pain in the butt with these ones. Alright, so you're going to want to tape it up or something for now, just so when this spins it doesn't hit these wires, but it should be okay like that. So just make sure the wires can't touch each other. If you're concerned about it, just electrical tape them up for the time being. Just make sure they're all twisted. Semi okay for now. Grab a piece of electrical tape and put it onto the motor like that. Now it doesn't matter if you have, so for this step you're going to need your receiver from your quadcopter. So I'm going to be using the one from the CX20 and I'm going to be after T for throttle. So for the IA6, IA6B, that's all I really have are the FlySky ones anyways, but it would be channel 3. You can't do this with PPM, otherwise you're going to have to go through the whole process of hooking up the entire quadcopter. So I think every receiver basically comes with the PWMs for it. Alright, so I'm going to be working with this guy. So with the servo wire at the top, the orange wire, red is positive, brown is ground. You're going to want to plug this into alphabet T for throttle, like that. So what you're going to want to do is grab your remote, plug in the battery. We're going to see if the lights work too. And they do, they didn't blow up, so that's good. So this is the front left motor, and the way this motor turns is this way, clockwise. That one turns counterclockwise, this one turns clockwise this way, and this one counterclockwise. So if this one's turning this way, it should hit my nail. So this one here should hit my nail when I go with the throttle. And if it doesn't, so it's not, it's hitting the back of my finger. And it hurts. Alright. So unplug it. Now what you're going to want to do is swap two of these wires around. Again, just be careful they can't hit each other, and make sure when this turns around it doesn't hit the wires so it hits each other. So you might want to tape this down like that. Should be okay. So I'm going to plug it in and see if it hits my nail this time. Alright, so I'm going to start it up and see if it hits my nail. Okay, it's good. It's hitting it this time on the top. And that hurts. Again. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing for the next ESC, but we're going to solder these guys up just to get it out of the way. And heat shrink them. Alright, so now we're going to do the same process for the other motor. So this would be the front left, now we're going to be working with the front right. Okay, same thing as last time, it's a gambling game, so we're just going to wire it up. Maybe, actually I'll try leaving them short this time. Nope. Skin these back again. Okay, so just twist them on any which way. Actually, I'm just gonna skin these guys back a bit too, again. Right, like last time, it's important that these don't touch each other. So I'll repeat myself again. So this guy is spinning clockwise, and this guy here is going to be spinning counterclockwise. So when this one's spinning this way, it's going to hit the back of my hand, my finger. Put electrical tape on it. Again, you plug your ESC into number 3 or into T. Like that. Plug in the battery. Essentially. Keep in mind, if these wires touch each other, your ESC will fry basically instantly. So it's really up to you if you're going to take some time and tape them up. So this time I want this motor here to hit the back of my finger. And it's not going to do it. No, it's going that way. So unplug it and swap two of them around. Alright, so I'm going to plug in the battery, try it again. So when you're doing this, your ESCs might not work properly, like I said, because they're just not calibrated. But as long as you can get it to hit the back of your finger or the front of the finger, whichever way you want it to go. So that one's going the right way, very crappily. Hopefully that motor's not screwed up. Almost seems like that motor is screwed up, or the ESC is screwed up. Alright. Unplug it. And the same process. I'm just going to fast forward this or skip over this. I'm just going to solder these wires up and heat shrink them and then jump on to the next motor.